Are you ready to venture into the world of werewolves, where myth meets reality and the line between man and beast blurs? From a German detective's unsolvable case that haunts a town, to a Native American warrior transformed into a wolf guardian, and a mysterious beast in 18th century France that eludes capture, these tales will make you reconsider what you thought was only fantasy. So grab your silver bullets, keep an eye on the moon, and let's dive into the chilling world of werewolves. If you aren't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you always get your daily dose of mystery and paranormal. Now, let's begin. Story 1: The Unsolvable Case. In a quiet German town in the year 1890, Detective Wilhelm was known as a rational, no-nonsense investigator who had solved every case he'd been assigned. Though he enjoyed the tranquility of his town, he often found himself yearning for something more exciting than the usual petty crimes he was tasked with solving. Finally, an intriguing case landed on his desk. Farmer Johann reported a gruesome scene. Several of his sheep had been mauled to death. When Wilhelm arrived to investigate, he found large paw prints that were too big to belong to a wolf, but didn't resemble a bear's either. Though puzzled, Wilhelm dismissed the idea of anything supernatural, convinced there must be a rational explanation. Not long after, a local tavern owner reported hearing strange howls at night and finding his outdoor storage shed destroyed. Wilhelm found similar large paw prints at the scene. The townspeople began whispering about a werewolf, and Wilhelm, though skeptical, started to question his earlier dismissal. A review of historical records revealed that similar incidents had occurred every few decades, always coinciding with a full moon. The situation escalated when a young woman was found dead in the forest, her body mauled in the same manner as the livestock. Wilhelm could no longer ignore the possibility of a werewolf. He began researching how to deal with one, even as he continued his investigation. Trying to find a lead, Wilhelm went to the last place the young woman was seen, the local tavern. While speaking to Wilhelm, the tavern owner recalled that the young woman had been at the bar the night she died. She had stepped outside for a moment, returned visibly startled, paid her tab, and left. The owner went to the door to check on the woman and saw she was last seen walking away with a man wearing a bright red jacket. Unfortunately, that's all the help he could provide. On the next full moon, Wilhelm announced to the town that he intended to kill the werewolf. Armed and prepared, he ventured into the forest for a final showdown with the potential beast. But when the town awoke, there was no sight of Wilhelm. A search party was established, and they set out for the location Wilhelm said he would stake out. When the search party arrived, they found a scene that left more questions than answers. The area had visible signs of a struggle: broken branches, disturbed earth, empty bullet shells, and blood on a rock. Wilhelm's gun lay on the ground, and nearby was a bright red jacket. Inside the jacket was a locket containing pictures of the young woman and Wilhelm. They searched the surrounding area, but there was no sign of Wilhelm or whatever he met in the forest. All that was left were questions. Who owned the jacket or the locket? Were they Wilhelm's belongings? What happened to Wilhelm's body? Was the young woman and Wilhelm a pair? Did Wilhelm sacrifice himself due to grief and to end the curse? The town never experienced another unexplained incident, but the questions lingered, leaving a haunting legacy that would be whispered about for generations to come. Story 2: The Spirit Guardian. In the dense forests of the American Northeast, where the land was as untamed as the spirits that roamed it, lived the Lenape tribe. They were a people deeply connected to the earth, its creatures, and its mysteries. Among their most sacred allies were the wolves, who roamed the forests as guardians of the land. But one wolf stood out among them, a night black wolf, larger and more ferocious than any other in the pack. Legend had it that this wolf was once a man, a warrior of the Lenape tribe named Dakota. When the colonists began to encroach upon their land, Dakota sought the guidance of the tribe's shaman. Through an ancient and forbidden ritual, he was transformed into a wolf, forever bound to protect his people and their sacred land. As tensions escalated, the Lenape knew they had no choice but to defend their territory. Armed with bows, arrows, and tomahawks, they prepared for battle. But they were not alone. At their side was the pack of wolves led by the night black wolf Dakota. The day of the battle arrived, a day where the sky seemed to weep for the blood that would be spilled. The Lenape and their wolf allies charged into the clearing where the colonists had set up camp. Arrows flew, tomahawks swung, and the wolves lunged with ferocious bites. The colonists, unprepared for the fury of the Lenape and their wolfen allies, began to falter. In the midst of the chaos, Dakota targeted the colonists' commander. With a powerful leap, he knocked the man to the ground, his jaws closing around the commander's throat. But just as victory seemed within grasp, a gunshot rang out. Dakota yelped and staggered back, a fatal wound in his side. As he lay dying, something miraculous occurred. Those close enough to witness it, both Lenape and colonist, claimed they saw the night black wolf transform. His form shimmered, and where a wolf had lain, there now lay a man. It was Dakota, returned to his human form in his final moments. His eyes met those of his tribesmen one last time, a silent message of love and sacrifice before he breathed his last. The Lenape ultimately won the battle, driving the colonists from their land, but the victory was bittersweet. They had lost many warriors, and they had lost Dakota, whose sacrifice had turned the tide of the battle. To honor him, the territories that would later become the states of North and South Dakota were named in his memory, a tribute to a warrior who had given everything to protect his people and their sacred land. To this day, the Lenape speak in hushed tones about the night black wolf who had once been a man. They say that his spirit still roams the forests, a guardian and protector, his howls a haunting yet comforting reminder of the sacrifices made to protect their sacred land. Story 3, The Beast of Gévaudan. In the rugged, mist-shrouded landscapes of the Margeride Mountains in southern France, a shadowy menace once lurked. The year was 1764, and the region of Gévaudan was gripped by terror. Livestock were found mutilated, their carcasses drained of blood, but soon it wasn't just animals that fell victim. People began to die in horrific ways, their bodies bearing marks of unimaginable brutality. Francois, a seasoned hunter, had heard rumors in the tavern. A creature neither wolf nor man was responsible for these atrocities. Despite the growing fear, Francois felt a sense of duty. Armed with his musket and a blade given to him by his father, he set out into the foreboding woods. Night was falling, and the darkening forest seemed to close in around him as he moved stealthily, listening intently for any sign of the beast. Meanwhile, at the royal court in Versailles, King Louis XV caught wind of the terror consuming Gévaudan. Intrigued and concerned, he dispatched a team of professional wolf hunters to put an end to the menace. Francois, who had now become a minor celebrity for his daring nighttime patrols, met with them and offered to guide them through the treacherous terrain. For weeks, they scoured the countryside, their nerves frayed as they heard distant howls echoing through the valleys. One fateful evening, deep in the forest, they found it. The Beast of Gévaudan stood before them, a monstrous creature larger than any wolf Francois had ever seen, its eyes a glowing, unnatural red. Musket fire erupted, filling the air with acrid smoke. The beast roared in fury, lunging at one of the king's men. Francois acted instinctively, his father's blade flashing as he moved to intercept the creature. The blade struck true, wounding the beast, but not before it clawed Francois' arm, leaving him bleeding and weakened. The beast retreated into the dense forest, disappearing as quickly as it had appeared. Back in Versailles, word of the encounter reached King Louis XV. Impressed by Francois' bravery, the king sent another team, this time led by a renowned marksman named Deneville. Joining forces with Francois, they intensified the hunt. Days turned into weeks, and just when it seemed that the beast had vanished, it struck again. More deaths, more horror. Now it wasn't just a hunt, it was personal for Francois. One chilling autumn evening, with the moon hanging low in the sky, they came upon the beast once more. This time, Deneville took aim, his musket aimed straight at the creature's heart. As he pulled the trigger, Francois said a silent prayer. The shot rang out, echoing through the forest, and the beast staggered, then fell. A collective sigh of relief washed over the land. The Beast of Gévaudan was dead. Francois, scared but resolute, finally felt a sense of closure, as did the terror-stricken people of Gévaudan. The king bestowed honors upon Francois and Deneville. But for Francois, the greatest reward was the return of peace to his homeland. Yet questions lingered. Was it a wolf, a hybrid, or something else? No one could say for sure. The creature's body was examined but provided no definitive answers. For years, tales of the Beast of Gévaudan circulated through the region, a spectral figure in the misty forests, a cautionary tale told to children, a mystery that would never be fully solved. Even today, the story of the Beast of Gévaudan remains an enigmatic chapter in French history, a melding of fact and folklore that has captured the imagination of people for generations. It serves as a haunting reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are those that defy explanation, lurking on the boundaries of our understanding, ever eluding capture in the nets of reason and science. So which of these tales do you think was true? Was it the Unsolvable Case in Germany, the Spirit Guardian in the American Northeast, or the Beast of Gévaudan in France? The true story is that of the Beast of Gévaudan. In the 1760s, the region of Gévaudan in France was indeed terrorized by a mysterious creature. Over 100 people were killed, and the creature was described as wolf-like but much larger. King Louis XV actually did send professional wolf hunters to capture or kill the beast, but it took years before anything was successful. The creature was eventually killed, but the mystery surrounding its true nature was never fully solved. Some theories suggest it might have been a hybrid or a species of wolf unfamiliar to the region. The story has become a blend of history and folklore that continues to fascinate people to this day.
Wait, did you like the video? You should probably do that right now and subscribe if you haven't. Unless you want the Beast of Gévaudan to find you. We wouldn't want that, would we?